Hi there! Let's do some integer addition. After you watch this video, I've got some fun activities for you to play with a little bit to try to practice the skill of adding integers. So I want to look through each one just briefly so that you know what you're doing when you open it up on your own. So you can either click over here on the left or down at the bottom you can scroll and you'll see a link that says next, and it says the name of the next task or activity, so you can click on that. And this first one is exploring integers on a vertical number line. So there are 8 types of problems here, and you click new task and it randomly selects one of the types. So let's look at this one. You were sent on a quest around the planet Bortan to collect temperatures during 8 days for research purposes. What was the lowest temperature that you measured? So we can see that by looking at our graph, and this one down here is the lowest one on the graph. And if I look over to the left, it looks like it's at about -17. So I can put the answer in, -17, and then check, and I got it right. Let's check out a new task. Let's do another new one because that was a 0. All right, the temperature falls from -12 to -18 degrees. How many degrees does it fall? So I can put this side of the thermometer on -12, that's 10, 11, 12. And I can put this side on -18, 15, 16, 17, 18, and I can count the spaces in between. And I would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces, so I can put in my answer. And check. All right. Here's a new task where we're asked to compare 2 numbers. So I'm going to compare -6 and -19. I can use the thermometer. I can put this side on -6. I can put this side on -19. I can see that -6 is definitely greater than -19. And then let's see. We'll do one more. Put these temperatures in order, the lowest first. Use the thermometer on the left for help. So 16 is the red bar, so I'm going to put this red bar at 16. The blue is -8, so I'm going to put the blue one at -8. The orange one is +8, so I'm going to put that at +8. And then the pink one is -6, so I'll put that here at -6. Now when I want to list them in order, I just start with the shortest bar. So I've got the blue one is the shortest, and then the pink one, and then the orange one, and then the red one. All right, so I know we didn't do all of the tasks, but check them out. So now I'm going to scroll down to the bottom where it says next, adding integers. And here we're going to be adding integers on the number line. So I want to actually start out with 2 positive numbers. So let's do 4 and 5. So you can see the first number is the purple arrow. It always starts at 0. It's a +4, so I go 4 to the right. I'm adding a +5, so I start the second number where the first one ended, and I go 5 to the right, and the green dot shows the answer. So I can move the bunny along the path. First we add 4, and then we add 5, right? So that's exactly what we expected to see because we've done 4 plus 5 for a very long time, right? They're both positive. No challenge there. So now let's make our second number negative. All right, so now the first number is still positive. It's +4, so I'm still moving, starting at 0, moving 4 to the right. The second number is still going to start at the tip of that purple arrow, but this time it's negative. So my arrow is going to the left, right? So if I move the bunny along the path, I'm going to have a +4, but then I'm going to go left 8, and I'm going to land on -4. Okay, what if my first number is negative and my second number is positive? All right, so maybe something like this. So my first number is -7, so I start at 0 and I go 7 to the left. From that point, my second number is positive 4, so I go back 4 to the right. So here goes the bunny, 7 to the left, 4 to the right, and I land on negative 3. And then the only case we didn't do is what if they're both negative, but I'll let you do that one on your own. Scroll down, and you'll see that there are 2 questions underneath this number line task. So please answer both questions and let me know if you are not sure how to answer them. I'm going to click on Next, and it's try it, adding integers. So now we have the problem, and we have to put the number lines or the arrows in the right spot. So the first number is already in place for you. So it starts on 0 and it goes 6 to the left because it's negative 6. The second number, though, has to start where the first number ends. So I can't see it. You can zoom out by pinching, and then you can see where the answer is. So let's try a different one where I don't have to zoom. And that one's kind of easy. Okay, let's try this one. The first number is 2, so that means I go start at 0, go 2 to the right. The second number that I'm adding is negative 5. I'm going to start this arrow where the first one ends, and I'm going to go 5 to the left because it's a negative 5. When I drop straight down, I can see that the answer is negative 3. So type the answer in, negative 3, hit enter, and it'll tell you if it's correct. If I didn't get it correct, let's say I just put 3, see how nothing pops up? If nothing pops up, it means that you didn't answer the question correctly. All right, let's try another one. Let's try this one. So the first number is negative 9, which means I start at 0 and I go 9 to the left. The second number is positive 10. I start where I ended the first arrow and I go 10 to the right. When I drop straight down, I can see that my answer is 1. So I type in a 1, hit enter. Awesome. Scroll down to the bottom. Next, integer addition. And this is just to check that, you kind of know what you're doing. Now, you can see I already started answering this one because these 2 have green dots, which means those answers are correct. But let me show you what that looks like. So negative 16 plus 0 is negative 16, right? But let's say I forget to put the negative and I just type in 16 and I hit enter. See how the dot next to that box is still red? That tells me that the answer is incorrect. So now if I go back and in front of that I put a negative and now I hit enter, the dot turned green. So if the dot turns green, that means you got it right. Answer all the questions, see how many green dots, try to make them all green. That's the goal. And then you want more practice, just press new questions and you'll get a whole new set of 8 questions. And then the last thing I want to show you is the commutative property. So I'm going to click next one more time. And I have 2 numbers that I'm adding, 3 and 6. And when I pull this slider, well, I can change the numbers, first of all, right? So let's say I make it, 5 and 8. I can pull this slider up here, and I can move those numbers to the other number, I guess you could say, right? It looks like the order has changed, and that's exactly what commutative property is. Okay, so the commutative property of addition states that when you add numbers, you can move them around in the problem, change the order, and you'll still get the same answer. So when you see the word commutative, I want you to think of where it comes from, which is the word commute. When people commute, think about what that means. Your parents may commute to work, right? Or you hear about the rush hour commute, right? Commute is when you go from one place to another. It involves you moving, right? So same thing happens when you use the commutative property with addition of integers. That means that you can move the numbers and the answer doesn't change. So in other words, 3 plus 4 is the same as 4 plus 3. This works with negatives too. 2 plus negative 5 is the same as negative 5 plus 2. Let me give you two examples where the commutative property can be very helpful. Let's say I'm adding together these four integers. Let's do 6 plus negative 1 plus 8 plus negative 4. Now I know that when I'm adding, if the integer is positive, it's going to go to the right, and if the integer is negative, it's going to go to the left. So it may help if I arrange them that way. So I'll put 6 plus 8 together, and then I'll put negative 1 plus negative 4 together. So 6 plus 8 is 14, and then negative 1 plus negative 4, think about it, if I go 1 to the left, and then from there I go 4 more to the left, I will have gone a total of 5 to the left. And when I add these together, now I have to think about, and you have a number line down here, so if I start at 0, and I go 14 to the right, so I would land right here, and then I come back 5 to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, my answer is 9. So I get 9. Another time that the commutative property can be really helpful is, well, let me just show you. So let's say we have something like negative 8 plus 3 plus 8 plus negative 1. Now, looking at this problem, I'm probably going to want to reorder this because I notice right away that I've got some additive inverses here, right? Negative 8 and positive 8 are opposites. So when I add them together, that means that they're going to equal 0. So if I go to rewrite my expression now, I would write those two together. So I would have negative 8 plus 8 plus 3 plus negative 1. So now I know when I add those, I get 0, so I don't even really have to look at it, right? And all I have to do is add 3 plus negative 1. So I start at 0, I go to 3, and then I go back to the left 1, and I land on 2. So I hope you can use these cool applets to strengthen your integer addition skills. Happy mathing!